Hi, my name is Christopher van Mosselvelde and I'm the Global Content Manager at Universum. Today I'm going to present to you the first report of our Talent Insight series called Talent Attraction Strategies for High Achieving Graduates. It's specifically about how graduating students of the Ivy League and Russell Group schools feel about careers and ideal employers. Now, let's begin. In this report, we look at three things. How do Ivy Russell students differ from other students? How does top talent think and behave differently? And what are the implications for employers trying to recruit them? Now, what this slide shows is that students attending selective universities have unsurprisingly engaged in a wide range of activities and employment before entering college. What we found interesting, however, was the extent to which students participate in real-world work experience, whether internships and apprenticeships, summer jobs, part-time jobs, or tutoring other students. Now, this is important as what we saw in our 2020 Outlook study, which is a survey conducted towards companies around the world about their employer branding and recruitment practices, is that companies are looking primarily for candidates with work experience and right personality. And this takes precedence and more weight than academic pedigree per se. As the Chronicle for Higher Education also confirms, employers prioritize experience over academic results. So what are the career goals of Ivy and Russell Group? And how do they differ from other students? Ivy and Russell Group students tend to want intellectual stimulation and challenge, more so than their peers in other universities. They're also more inclined to want management leadership positions, whereas students outside of this target group tend to focus much more on career stability and security. The biggest points of difference between them are related to challenging work and secure employment. Russell Ivy students are 21% more likely to seek out challenging work, and those who did not attend Russell Ivy schools are 40% more likely to aim for secure employment. Universum's millennial study, Understanding a Misunderstood Generation, also asked respondents about challenging work. And while it was a different study, the answers millennials shared may hold insights for employers. Challenging work, said millennials, is about being involved in innovative work and learning new things on a daily basis. Few define challenging work as having a constant and heavy workload. Meaning, challenging work is much more about solving complex problems, being intellectually stimulated, and working on novel projects, and not about working long hours. This desire is especially difficult to satisfy for recent college graduates, who are more likely to transition into entry-level jobs that require less creative or analytical thinking. Now let's look at the sources of information. Where do students go to learn about employers? Now, the difference between Russell and Ivy and all others regarding social media is larger than expected, and we wondered what exactly drove 30% more non-Russell Ivy students to use social media to research a future employer. The driving factor here may be that students at elite schools are more likely to be heavily recruited as they near graduation, and so those students would rely less on social media to explore other options. For example, 57% of those in the Russell Ivy group say employer presentations on campus are an important source of information, compared to 38% among non-Russell Ivy students. And over one-third of non-Russell Ivy students report relying on career and job-related apps, a response that was likely close to zero just a few years ago. So now let's look at the implications for employers, and we will provide you with some good food for thought. Mind the balance. Employers must pay attention to this insight in order to attract top candidates, and top tech companies have figured this out. Google offers haute cuisine in its employee cafeteria. Airbnb and Salesforce give personal travel benefits to employees, and Evernote offers a full-time employees twice monthly home cleaning service. These are perhaps outliers, but even traditional organizations can make strides to improve young professionals' day-to-day quality of life. foster competitive and intellectual challenges. Universum's millennial study, Understanding a Misunderstood Generation, also asked respondents about challenging work. And while it was a different study, the answers millennials shared may hold insights. Challenging work, said millennials, was about being involved in innovative work and learning new things on a daily basis. Few define challenging work as having a constant heavy workload. Measure reputation and image. The top 3 KPIs today, as measured by our Outlook 2020 Outlook study, are all inward-facing. Average retention rate, new hire quality, and employee engagement. External indicators, such as employer rankings and brand perception, all registered under 20% of respondents. This suggests employers are measuring indicators that do not accurately reflect what potential employees are looking for. What will you emphasize in your 3 minutes? These messages should be customized by industry and by geography to ensure they align well with the values of each particular target market, and they should be authentic to the lived experience of working for your organization. Study your channels carefully. Well, in recent years, there has been a massive push to educate HR and recruiting professionals about using social media, as should be the case. But companies must not lose sight of their tried and true channels, such as career fairs, presentations on campus, and employer websites. Also, pay attention to emerging channels, such as mobile apps, which astoundingly are reliable for 30% of Russell Ivy students. So in summary, our 5 recommendations are the following. 1. Pay attention to what top candidates want. 2. Ensure that you provide them with an intellectual and challenging job. 3. Measure, measure, measure. Without measuring your EB practices and performance, you'll be left in the dark. 4. Work on your elevator pitch for attracting talent. And 5. Use a mix of communication channels and understand how various channels create different results. Now we've come to the end of this report. If you would like to know more about the Talent Insight series and the Ivy League Russell Group, please go to universumglobal.com. Thank you very much.